Hey guys, before we start this video, I just want to say a real quick shout out to our friends over at The Swap. The Swap is a crypto company that has been running a lot of NFT giveaways for their followers on Twitter and on Discord. They're a multimedia company that seeks to deliver high quality content to inspire self-growth as well as provide great entertainment. If you guys want to follow them on Twitter, it's at Twitter at the_swap, SWOP. You can also go to discord.gg/the swap. There's no underscore there. There's nothing. It's just the swap. So THESWOP. Go follow them over there. They've been really good to us. We're going to be really good to them. We hope that you guys enjoy this episode, and we'll see you guys again next week.
All right, we are back. We took 1 week off. I wasn't feeling too great, but we're back now. UFC 272 is this upcoming weekend. Hunter, how are you doing today?
I'm not as good as Jake is. Jake's in Vegas. I'm still here in Illinois, but I'm excited for the fight card. So
Sam should be jumping on any second now. He'll probably just jump on in the middle of the episode. But yeah, no, I mean, it's going to be a crazy week. Press conference just concluded. So we are recording this. I just got back to the room, a room at a fabulous MGM resort, just like I've been saying we stay at. MGM Grand, nothing but good things have been happening here. A lot of support for them. But UFC 272 is something that we'll get on top of soon. But let's start with Cain Valasquez. Crazy situation.
it's insane. I don't know all the details, but what I do know is there's a free Cain thing for a reason. Honestly, like if I was in his position, I probably would have done the exact same thing. So let's see how this plays out. Honestly, there's no trial or anything that's happened yet. So it's messed up though, man. It's a messed up scenario.
So what happened, if you guys don't know, or maybe just heard the first part of the story as I let Sam into the room, Cain Valasquez was accused of attempted murder, which that was how the story originally broke. We didn't have much details to start it off. However, we did end up finding out later on that his 4-year-old daughter was sexually abused. As Sam jumps on, we are in the middle of the episode, Sam.
Okay.
Cain Valasquez we get told that his 4-year-old daughter was sexually abused by, I believe, a father and son. And so Cain Valasquez, being Cain Valasquez, went out and pretty much took his AR and shot 100 shots at the guy.
So I read something like completely different. It was his niece. It was Cain Valasquez's niece is what I read. And the son sexually abused her, whatever, multiple times, over 100 times, they said, like literally like numerous times abused the girl. Cain found out, tried to shoot him, and ended up shooting the guy's father when he was in a car. So that's what I heard. Messed up. There's 5 bullets in the car. That's, they were linked back to Cain's weapon, obviously. So messed up, but I would have done the same thing, man. He was just doing God's work, to be honest.
To be honest, we don't really know what this story is completely. However, what we do know is that I'm pretty sure Cain Valasquez is going to get off of all this. I can't imagine a scenario where this actually gets kept like in prison and in the court system. Anyone with a working brain and working heart should know that he's a free man.
Yeah, but it's just how the system works, man. There's so many illegal things he did. So
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll kind of keep you guys updated on this story. Big story that's kind of coming out now. We might be getting a replacement now for the UFC London main card, main event, because Volkov might not be able to travel out of Russia due to the Russia-Ukraine situation. So they are, I guess, looking at a contingency plan to still have Tom Aspinall headline the event, which is not sure against who.
I wasn't even hearing about that. That's crazy. That sucks because I want to see that fight.
I think we all do, but I mean, I totally understand why not. Fuck Russia. But hey, we're here. Sad to say. Last weekend, let's real quick go through that, was Islam versus Bobby Green. Islam should be fighting this weekend. We'll get more into that though too. Bobby Green embarrassed on the main event on that card, as we said he would be.
I mean, there's nothing really to say though. Dan Hooker got embarrassed by Islam. You can't take a fight like that in short notice. It's fucking stupid. I don't care. Like, that was a dumb decision by Bobby.
Well, he is an unranked fighter too, so it's not even like it made sense. But then it kind of raises the question: do you believe that Bobby Green should be ranked now because of like his last two performances? Obviously, this last one was terrible, but it was against the number 4, now number 3 guy in the division.
I think based on his win over Ali Quinta, it's enough to put him in the top 15 for sure. 13 or something, but Jesus fuck, he got demolished in that main event. So,
I mean, he took it on 10 days notice, and it's hard against Islam. I mean, everyone wanted to see him fight Dariush, which isn't that still in the works?
Yeah,
that's back in the works now. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say right next is, so going from the short notice fight from Bobby Green, now we go into a short notice fight opportunity where he could have fought Dos Anjos at 170 instead of his natural 155. And by natural, I mean a huge weight cut, because I hear that he walks around at about 195. Islam walks around at 195.
Jesus Christ.
So it's not a very natural cut. That's why he wasn't going to be able to take the fight regardless at 155. 170 was doable. Dana offered them the fight after the whole Twitter argument, and I guess Islam and Khabib said no. So as payback and as kind of hyping up this fight that's not going to happen, now Dana's saying that Islam is not going to get a title fight right away. He now does have to actually fight Beneil Dariush.
Which is what it should be anyways, because you don't beat Bobby Green and then get a fucking title shot. He still needs to beat a guy like Beneil. I don't know why, just because he's dominating guys doesn't mean he deserves a fucking title shot. You know what I'm saying?
His most valuable win is against Dan Hooker, who's not even in the division anymore.
He's not in the division. So if you really think about it, then Kamayev actually beat a guy that was top 10 in the fucking his division. So, and he's not calling for a shot right now.
Right.
Islam needs to beat Beneil. He needs to beat him decisively. And you still have 3 other dudes in that division. I think that sets you up for a title shot if he beats Beneil decisively, but I still want to see him beat a guy like Michael Chandler.
Yeah. Well, no, so this is where I think it's funny, though, because you're obviously now talking about a fight with Beneil Dariush, who's coming off of a pretty substantial foot injury. So it's not going to be for probably many months now. So that means there's going to have to be a title fight in between Islam and Dariush and the winner of Oliveira versus Gaethje.
And I know a guy that wants to fight in July.
Yeah, I heard he wants to fight headline International Fight Week. I know that he is a big draw for the UFC. Sam, what do you think are the chances that we're seeing a Conor McGregor title fight this summer?
I mean, the way he looked against Poirier, I mean, I understand it was a freak injury, but he did not look good that round. And from his Instagram posts about him eating ice cream in bed.
Hey, he said he's sober and then did that like 2 weeks later. But yeah, no, I mean, not a great look. He's clearly on a ton of drugs. And he's definitely just smoking marijuana and drinking a lot.
Conor's beaten the best in the world leading up to fight weeks. So he beat Aldo, Diaz, all these guys. You think he was sober the whole time? No.
Not a chance. So, I mean, like, also, like, how long does he really need to be sober for? He doesn't need to be sober from here until July 2nd.
No, he needs to be sober, hopefully, most of his fight camp. That's it.
I like how we have hopefully most of. Yeah, no, I mean, like, it doesn't make sense to have Conor fight anyone else unless he wants that tune-up fight, which it doesn't sound like he does. So, granted, another loss would not be great for McGregor fans like us, because we're running out of time of saying like he's still the best.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was him and Diaz now for that trilogy fight that they were talking about more.
See, that fight makes sense too, but I don't see Diaz and Conor fighting anytime soon. I think Nate's gonna sign a new deal after his next fight.
I think that passed. I think the Dustin and Conor passed. I think it's gonna be Dustin and Diaz. I think Conor's moving on to some other weird shit. He wants a title shot. I think it could be a Conor Oliveira title shot.
And I'm saying this now, not because I think he has a better chance against Gaethje, but him versus Gaethje would be a fun fight for everyone. I don't see anyone hating that.
No, it'd be a banger because if you guys don't know how good Conor McGregor is, Conor McGregor knocked out Eddie Alvarez, knocked out Dustin Poirier. Guess who Dustin and Eddie both knocked out? Justin Gaethje. So you guys can talk shit about Conor all you want. He's knocked out two dudes that put Justin Gaethje on his ass. So
yeah, it's gonna be a fun little ride here to find out what's happening in the lightweight division, which is always changing. It's always the most entertaining. I think there's gonna be a lot of changes getting made soon. Now let's move right into the big event because this is gonna be a long episode that we can talk about this card. UFC 272. Let's start it off with the main event. Let's go backwards. You now have Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, non-title fight, obviously, but going to be a 5-round grudge match. Boys, what are you most excited for? What are you guys looking for? What have you guys noticed?
I mean, hopefully it doesn't go the way our UFC 4 fight went with for me versus Jacob for this fight, but I don't think it will. I think Jorge Masvidal's only went over 3 rounds 3 times in his career, and he's lost all 3 of them. So I think if Colby can use that cardio, can honestly have a chin and not get knocked out by Masvidal, I think it's Colby all the way.
Yeah, I see wherever the fight goes, Colby's better. I mean, Colby outstruck Usman many times. Usman put, Masvidal to sleep. Colby out-wrestled, Usman before. He's obviously going to out-wrestle Masvidal if he wants. Honestly, Colby's going to run through them. But the bad blood in this is going to make it exciting. I think there's going to be a war for a couple rounds. Then Colby's just going to put too much pressure on him.
Agreed. So I believe after especially seeing this press conference, I don't know how much Jorge really believes himself. Everything that Jorge did, it felt like it was like, I don't have an actual comeback because there's nothing I can talk about that separates me from even trying to say that I'm better than him, other than the fact that he just keeps saying like, oh, Jorge Masvidal is my best friend. Didn't pay my coaches. Like, he has nothing else to say about anything other than these alleged rumors, which, I mean, not the rumor that they were best friends, because they were, but we don't really know what's happening with the whole fight pay thing.
Yeah.
But like, there's been nothing on Masvidal's front that says like, hey, like, I actually truly believe I'm better than this guy. I don't think he believes that at all. I think that he knows that he's coming up on the end of his career. He did sign a new contract today, which I thought was a little weird timing, but hey, I think that this is going to be a Colby Covington fight. I think he gets the win. And then I'll save my real bold prediction for cash or dash. So I really like Colby in the fight.
It is real quick too, is Usman himself, when they asked, he instantly said Colby. And when they asked, what do you think Masvidal's strategy is, he joked around. He's like, maybe a flying knee. Like, anyone that follows UFC knows Colby Covington's a better fighter than Jorge Masvidal.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 50-44 across the board. I think it's going to go to decision because that's what Colby's going to do.
I don't know.
I really think Colby's going to drag this thing on, but he's going to dominate from start to finish.
I think it's going to be whatever Colby really wants it to be.
I think Colby wants to embarrass him. I think he wants to show that he's better at doing everything. So I don't think he wants to finish this fight quick. He might finish it late. I mean, if there's going to be a finish, it's probably going to be like round 4 or 5. But I think that Colby is going to take him down. He's going to let him get back up. He's just going to take him down again. The wrestling is going to set these two apart big time. The fact that he, in this press conference, was just talking shit about Mike Brown while Mike Brown's sitting right in front of him, crazy. Like, he has zero regard for his surrounding. You have the fans actually chanting for Colby this fight. Not something that happened with Usman. I think that he knows that there's a lot of pressure because his number one fan, this could determine who he likes more. Donald Trump is going to probably be in the building. Donald Trump is probably going to give Colby a call. It seems like they are closer than Masvidal. Masvidal does not say that, but who knows what's going to happen. I think Colby knows that this is a legacy fight for him. and maybe a fight against Khamzat away from getting a third fight with Usman.
100%. I mean, Khamzat and Kobe's the match to make going into the next Usman fight if Kobe wins this one, obviously.
Yeah. And I think everyone wants to see it. Unless Gilbert Burns pulls off the impossible, then we're just setting up a Gilbert Burns versus.
And that's very possible. Gilbert Burns is an absolute fucking dog.
Yeah. Then we're just setting up Gilbert Burns versus Colby, and I don't think there's anyone in the world that will complain about that.
And if you watch the Burns Usman first fight, Burns was getting to him, man. Burns was in that fight as well. So.
Yeah. So I like the possibilities of what's going to come out of this fight. I do think that this can be a very, very fun environment. But we'll get into that a little bit more. Co-main event, still going to be 5 rounds, but we don't get Rafael Fiziev. We instead are going to get Renato Moicano with Rafael Dos Anjos, or as Colby calls them, Dos Nachos. I don't know why this is still a 5-round fight, to be 100% honest with you guys.
It doesn't need to be. Dos Anjos wins this fight 3 rounds. He's just going to do what he normally does. He's been boring lately, but he always wins. He doesn't get knocked out really ever. Dos Anjos doesn't get really finished. So I think Dos Anjos just picks him apart, beat him, boring fight. But yeah.
It's short notice fight. I like, for me, it's more on Moicano. Am I pronouncing that correct? Moicano?
I think so.
So he's doing this on short notice. It's a co-main, so it's not even the main event. And really, does anyone really want to see Dos Anjos for 5 rounds on a pay-per-view like main card?
I did in 2015.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't understand. I actually think the next fight should be the co-main.
Well, also Moicano fought it on February 12th at the last pay-per-view, so it's probably someone that could actually make weight and still come in to fight.
He looked good that fight too.
Yeah, he did against Hernandez.
I do think Dos Anjos will get the victory. Into the other fight that I think is one of the better fights on this card, Bryce Mitchell, Edson Barbosa. You have top-notch grappling versus maybe one of the best kickboxers we've ever seen.
100%.
So this fight could go any way. If Barbosa catches him, who knows what's going to happen. If this fight gets to the ground the entire time, there's no chance. I think it ends by submission. But there's no counting out Bryce Mitchell from making a very, very quick title run, especially in that division where it's so wide open right now.
Yeah, man, I don't like this fight for Mitchell. And I love Mitchell. He's finally got the camo shorts looking badass. I love it. I don't like this fight at all for him. I really hate this fight. Bryce Mitchell hasn't fought since fucking 2020. And Edson is so active. I don't like the style matchup. Barbosa's got one of the better takedown defenses as well. He's fought everyone you can name. He's fought wrestlers before. He knows how to fight wrestlers, grapplers. Bryce Mitchell's a beast on the ground, but I think Barbosa picks him apart. And he's a heavy underdog.
Yeah.
But I got
heavy. I think I saw -175 for Mitchell. I mean, it's moderate.
Plus 210.
Oh, ESPN has it, which it's ESPN. They have it Mitchell -165, Barbosa +140.
Yeah.
Okay. It's close then. It's close. I got Barbosa in this one though.
I'm taking my boy Bryce Mitchell. It's that farmer.
I want Bryce. I want it, but no.
As the guy that sat next to me said, this man has a horse cock. You can't turn him down. I don't think he knows what that meant.
Hey,
he's not from America.
He's the best rapper in the fucking UFC, baby.
Better than Tyron.
Way better than T-Wood.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, you got something else?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I got Barbosa. Mitchell's been fought since 2020, almost 2 years off. I think that's kind of hard to that's hard to come back from.
You guys are all haters. You'll find out. Outside of those 3 main card fights, what fights excite you the most? We're not going to go through every single fight because that would just take us hours. What fights do you guys like the most? What are you guys excited to see here?
Start with you, Sam.
Well, there's a guy on the early prelims who's a -700 favorite.
I already know.
He's 13-0.
What's his last name?
Nurmagomedov.
Oh, shocker. Fuck you. Yeah, no, I mean, it's hard to kind of look past the name. And he's minus 700 against Brian Kelleher, correct?
Yeah. I mean, the name is Usman Nurmagomedov. Kind of a great name for the UFC.
Is it? Oh, it's Usman, right? Or Umar?
Yeah, I think this one's Umar.
Oh, it's Umar. My bad.
There is an Magomedov though. There's a lot of them.
I think he's in Bellator.
He's a Bellator. He's a beast.
Ah.
But I like Brian Kelleher. I just don't think he has a fucking chance.
That fight's actually good. I actually watched him all day at work today. I was watching Nurmagomedov's highlights, and honestly, man, if he gets him to the ground, he'll win the fight. But I don't know. He looks kind of sloppy. He's no Khabib. He's no Khabib. I'm just gonna stay away from that fight betting wise. But it'll be fun to watch that fight. Mine is honestly, man, Kevin Holland and Alex Oliveira. Fight of the night, in my opinion, will be fight of the night. That's gonna be a banger. Those two, I'm so excited. This is perfect for Kevin Holland too, because Oliveira is not gonna initiate a ton of grappling exchanges, which we do want to see that because we want to see if Holland's, improving. But we want to see Kevin Holland bang, stand and bang. That's what we want to see Kevin Holland do. And I think Oliveira's one of those guys that's going to be willing to trade with him a little bit.
So here's what I'm going to say about the rest of the card. There's going to be a lot of names on here that we're going to see for years. And like every fight is going to probably be, I would say you're probably going to have 2 to 3 fights where you're going to be like, all right, like I could have done without that. The rest of these fights are going to be awesome. I don't know what 2 to 3 it's going to be, but it'll be 2 to 3 random ones. However, the last fight on the main card, and you'll understand why I say this, Sergey Spivak and Greg Hardy, ex-Cowboys defensive end. I believe he was
in Carolina.
Had the drug charges or something.
I think it was domestic abuse. He beat the shit out of his girlfriend.
Yeah, much worse. Yeah. I'm hoping that this is finally the fight that either A, we never have to see Greg Hardy on another pay-per-view main card for the rest of my life, or 2, B, he gets kicked out of the UFC and just released. Why are we still watching Greg Hardy?
Fuck Greg Hardy. I don't care for Greg Hardy. That's why he gets booed every time he walks out there. That's why he got kicked off the Cowboys. I hope he gets his ass beat.
I'm not even a big Spivak guy. I hope he kills him. Like, I really hope.
Hey, this is the one time, I don't know where Sergey's from. I don't know what country, but I'm cheering for the
Romania.
Romania. We're good.
Yeah. Team Romania, baby.
Yeah, no, fuck Greg Hardy. Like, it still pisses me off that we still have to watch this guy.
And the fact that he said he was dominating against Tai Tuivasa, he's a clown. The dude is
idiot. Complete idiot.
He said he's 290 and he's the scariest heavyweight in the world, but I can name the 4 guys that have already beaten him. They're scarier.
Yeah, because I mean, I want to see eventually a Greg Hardy versus Francis Ngannou fight. That would really make me interested. Like,
actually, you know what? I would want to see that. I do want to see Francis completely fucking knock his head off.
I could see
Ngannou would just lay on him
or down the street. I don't need to see it at a UFC event.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe if he ends up in jail, he might have to fight Cain. That's a different story. All right.
All right. Before we get into Cash or Dash, which is how we'll end up ending the show, it'll be a little bit quicker than I originally thought. UFC 272 tickets have been a pretty big story here all week. Ticket prices are super low. And there's not really been a reason as to why. Resale tickets I saw as low as $130 today, which is unheard of for a pay-per-view fight.
In Vegas.
Why do you guys think that is?
I mean, Masvidal is not as big as draw maybe as he thinks he is, or the UFC thinks he is, because he's been losing. You know what I mean? No title fights. There's just other than that fight, there's not a huge names in terms of popularity. Kevin Holland or Bryce Mitchell is your next biggest names. So it's kind of like, I just don't think there's enough to it other than the bad blood between those two guys.
Which that's all I've been seeing to promote this entire card is Colby Masvidal bad blood.
Marina Rodriguez is on the card. None of us even mentioned it. Like,
She could fight for a title if she wins, by the way. But
yeah, I mean, well, that's something else. But yeah, I don't think there's a wrong answer as to why this is. I think part of it is that it's in Las Vegas. I think if this card was, say, Nashville, Miami, well, Miami would be completely packed. Anywhere in Florida, honestly, anywhere, Chicago, Milwaukee, I think this card has a lot more buzz. I do think it is a little bit of tired, like, why are we continuing to go to Vegas all the time? And then if you're a Vegas resident, like, this isn't the card that you probably want to see. You want to see these championship fights. So I'm not really sure that the whole idea of what this started as was the best. Obviously, this was originally supposed to be Volkanovski's card with Max Holloway. So not really on the UFC to do that. It would have worked a lot better had this fight been in Jacksonville. This would be a totally different story. I also do really think that Donald Trump plays a part of it, which is kind of crazy to say. I think that there's a lot of people that are going to boycott this fight because it's America's favorite fighters.
yeah,
It's kind of
Well,
crazy.
you also have to think Las Vegas, you're going to get a crowd from the LA region. It's not that far of a drive for them to go down there. And like you said, it's Colby Masvidal on the card. And people from LA are not going to be hyped about going to go see either one. They're not going to care. They're going to be like, I want to see both these guys get their ass kicked.
What it comes down to. It's kind of sad because I think this is actually a really good card from top to bottom. I don't think that, like, obviously don't have a championship fight, but I do think that there's a lot of potential with this card. We could be talking about a lot of awesome fights that come out of it. So I don't know. I was just kind of wondering what your guys' takes were on that.
yeah. I just think there's not enough. It's a good card. It's a good storyline, but everyone wants a title fight on, pay-per-view. And I think to always stick with that. Unless it's Conor. I'm not going to just say that because it's a Conor stand. You can sell any Conor card. You can sell his fight alone, right? You can't sell just Covington and Masvidal that much to that pedigree.
There's 3 guys probably in the UFC that can do this right now, and that would be Conor, Nate Diaz,
John Jones. Yeah.
Because if John Jones is fighting, say, Tai Tuivasa, and that's a main card event, that's going to be a sellout.
Anything with John coming back too, like now that UFC is getting so much traction and it's so popular now, you have TikTok people like promoting it, people making bets, sports betting's at its highest, everyone's watching UFC. When John gets back and people see how good of a fucking fighter he is, like these guys that are just now watching the sport, he's going to be an insane draw, man. And he knows how to talk. He knows how to sell pay-per-views. He's just, I can't wait for John to come back.
Yeah, I totally agree. Which, do we have a time on that yet? Like, have we heard anything?
No, nothing.
Sad.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. It sounds like with him. So,
all right, let's finish this off. Cash or dash? Who wants to start us off here?
All right, I got one. Cash or dash? Dylan Danis will return to Bellator by the end of the year.
I'm gonna say dash, and I don't want to say dash. I don't think he's ever gonna fight again. I really don't. I think he's totally okay with being this internet troll that's getting paid a lot of money for doing nothing. I think eventually it will kind of end. However, he could have a full new career if Conor McGregor wins a title, because then it's going to be right back to Conor versus Islam, Conor versus Khabib, Dylan Danis.
Yeah, all of that stuff. I know he was in the works for a fight last year. He hurt his knee twice. He had 2 or 3 knee surgeries. There's an article a few days ago, I think it was 4 days ago, Scott Coker said that Danis was texting him over the weekend saying he wants to get a fight going, so he's getting healthier again. It's honestly like he is a troll, but it's been his health. He's had multiple knee surgery. He was in a brace 3 months ago. Like, the guy wants to fight. He wanted to fight. He was training hard, and then he re-tore his knee. So he's had 2 knee surgeries in the last year. I think he does fight by the end of the year. I'm cashing that. But
Sam?
Yeah, I'll cash it as well.
Good enough for me. This weekend, outside of just having UFC 272, Arnold Schwarzenegger and his new business partner, Logan Paul, are hosting the fight or the slap fight championships on his YouTube channel. Do you believe that his viewership numbers will be higher than the pay-per-view for UFC 272?
No, I mean, no.
We'll say live viewership because obviously that number's gonna go way up after.
The number's going to be misconstrued anyways. I don't think that many people are going to tune in the fight or to watch that shit, but who knows, man. Based off the reporting numbers, I can see I'll cash that's going to be higher. But
Yeah, I'll cash it.
It's such a ridiculous story that I had to say that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Logan Paul are business partners.
Well, for slap boxing.
For slap boxing.
What in the fuck is happening? This is a wild year, man.
Sam?
Also,
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw this on Bleacher Report. I don't know how reputable it is. Jake Paul, I guess, is talking with Bellator about getting a contract. And I mean, one of our favorite fighters in Bellator does want to fight him. Are you gonna cash or dash if Jake Paul does sign with him? A Ben Parrish Jake Paul fight.
I'm gonna dash on it only because I think Bellator knows that this is gonna be a one and done situation. So they're gonna give him a name a little bit bigger than Big Tuna. It's gonna be sad that we're gonna have to actually watch a real fighter fight this guy. But also I said that about boxing, so who knows?
yeah, I'm gonna dash it. I don't think he fights Big Tuna. I think if he does fight anyone in the Bellator, I think it'll be Danis. Because they've been in talks for a while. They hate each other anyways. And I think Dylan would
I think there's too much of a weight difference though.
Oh, Dylan would fight at 185, already said, to fight Jake Paul. And Jake could cut down. He'd fight a catchweight at 190. Dylan Danis would submit Jake Paul within 2 minutes, regardless of the weight class. But damn, that'd be cool for Ben Parrish if he got that fight.
That would be awesome for us.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the other one. Sounds like we're gonna get a Joanna return fight soon. It sounds like the UFC is closing in on that. Cash or dash, it's gonna be against Zhang Weili. Rematch.
I'm gonna cash that. I think that's exactly what she wants. She wants a number one contender spot, right in line for a title. She wants the quickest route to the title, and who other than the former champ?
Imagine that fight under a Oliveira versus Connor fight.
Oh, gee,
JP versus Connor.
I'm getting wet thinking about it.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah, I'll cash it as well.
What is this podcast becoming? That's sexual talk.
Hey,
Round and pound.
on a serious note, prayers for everyone in Ukraine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If we're talking about fighting, the Klitschko brothers, freaking warriors, man. The champ that just beat Anthony Joshua
Yeah.
chose to go well. Honestly, dude, that's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the world right now. And Jake's in Vegas. We're here. We're able to do a podcast, talk about a sport we absolutely love. Talk about bets. So like, all jokes aside, seriously, like, we're very privileged to be where we're at right now, considering other things going on in the world. So,
100% agree. Real quick on that, actually, what is his name? The boxer that just won the title, Amelia Chenko.
Cirque or Schenk or something like that.
Isn't it like Amelia Chenko?
I can check.
Lomachenko?
Lomachenko. Yeah, that's it. Did you see his interview of like what's happening in Ukraine? I mean, it's sad, obviously, but it was pretty funny how he worded it. He's like, I don't know, I just kind of come out here and I start killing people. He goes, I think I killed like 5 Russians yesterday.
That was Klitschko. That was the former heavyweight champ.
Klitschko that said that? I thought it was the other one.
That was Klitschko. He said he's like, we killed like 6 people yesterday. And he was just talking so casually about it. That's badass, dude. That's fucking badass.
Badass, but like, just what a way to word that. Like, yeah, just 6 people, I think. Okay. But yeah, no, prayers out to Ukraine. If you guys have some way of helping, it's obviously hard because different continent, different way.
Yeah,
you guys have a way to help, for sure, help them.
Yeah.
But people are also getting scammed by people helping them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's even more.
Yeah, seriously, I'm gonna put in my link, my Venmo. Venmo me. I'll help people in Ukraine. Okay, I'll do what I can.
I will also help Ukraine by not buying Russian vodka.
I'm still gonna cheer against the Nurmagomedovs because I hate them always, and
Definitely.
this gives me another reason. So
Perfect. All right, guys. Anyone got any final thoughts before we kind of head out of here?
no,
Wait, I
Jake.
gotta say, just because we weren't able to do an episode last week, shout out to Jamal Hill knocking out Johnny Walker within 3 minutes. That was such a great performance from him.
A meme knockout because of how wild his arms went up.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was awesome. Yeah, we're fully back again. Again, sorry that I was sick last week. We just couldn't.
No, Jake, enjoy yourself in Vegas, man.
Of course. I'll put out some more videos on the Instagram. And then this will be out tomorrow. So Friday morning. So good Friday morning. Have a good rest of your week. And we'll see you guys on the other end of UFC 272 live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Peace, guys.
Yep. See ya.